Oh, hello.
Hello. I'm Kim.
Yes, Kim.
Yes, Kim.
Okay. My name is Hiroshi.
Hiroshi. Hello,
Yes, I'm
Hiroshi.
calling
And
from Japan.
yes, I gathered that from the name and
Uh,
and the accent, of course. Where in
mm,
Japan? In
I
Japan
live
are
in
you?
the southern part of Japan called Kumamoto.
Kumamoto.
Yes, the southern part.
Okay.
Yeah, very far from Tokyo. Kuma, Kumamoto. Kumamoto.
Okay.
Mhm.
I've been in Osaka,
Yes,
Nara, and
really?
Kyoto.
Oh,
Mm.
you lived in? Oh, just
No.
travel.
Just traveled. Just went on
Oh,
a holiday there.
oh,
Um, Beautiful country,
happy.
Japan. Japan is a wonderful country. I just think it's so interesting because of the way you integrate the old and the new, the modern and the
Oh,
traditional.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
whereas I've traveled a lot through Asian countries,
Mhm.
and quite often what you see the old is over here and preserved, and the new is over here. But with Japan, it's kind of all in together. It's
Uh,
very interesting like that.
oh, really? Yeah. I heard, yeah, that, yeah, foreign people think Japan, yeah,
Yeah.
that's, yeah.
So I love those kind of traditions that um and I also sorry, I shouldn't be doing all the talking here, but just let me say I also love the way the Japanese always try to attain perfection in everything. I
Uh,
mean,
confection?
perfection.
Perfect. So,
Not
yeah,
confection.
yeah, sometimes that's, we see too much perfection. So sometimes we
Perhaps. Yeah, perhaps. I can see why you would say that. But
uh,
you look at the presentation of the food,
uh,
the packaging, the tea ceremony. I mean, all these things it's so subtle. It's very very lovely. It's really nice.
really.
Yeah.
How many years ago did you visit Japan?
Let me think. Maybe 4 years ago, maybe.
Oh, not so
Not
long.
not not so long ago. Not so long ago.
Coronavirus. Oh,
Before the virus, my
no.
wife and I always ensured that we did at least one big overseas trip. So at least once a year we go overseas.
Oh, really?
We haven't done that now for a while. But anyway, may I ask what do you do, Hiroshi?
Well, I'm a retiree already
Good for
for quite
you.
a long time already. And
Well,
so under the pandemic now, I can't do anything particular. So just
yeah.
stay at home and, of course, take a walk every day and sometimes meet my friends, but not so often. And
At
yeah,
least you can, I suppose.
yeah.
Is Japan actually in a lockdown?
Yeah, some big cities already
What
locked down.
about what about yours?
In my area, still it's very serious. Now, all over Japan, very serious, uh,
Mm,
especially after the Olympics. You know,
mm.
we don't know any relation, but maybe a coincidence. But we have now quite a lot of cases, so
Yeah,
we worried
and
because
you're going to have to wait for a couple of weeks until it sort of unfolds as to whether the Olympics
yeah,
made the situation worse.
mhm,
Uh,
yeah.
uh, have you
So
been? Sorry, we're going to say.
uh, anyway, I don't do anything particular at home, so it's a very monotonous life every day. So
Uh,
maybe having a Cambridge English course, this is
oh,
one of the yeah
we'll keep you amused. Keep you amused, perhaps. What did
yeah
you do?
activity like this, so it's very good.
What did you do before you retired?
Oh, I used to be an English teacher.
Ah,
for high schools. And yeah, but you know, I retired quite a long time ago. So I went to Australia to study more at the university, and I earned master's degree there. And
where in Australia?
I studied in Sydney, the University of New South Wales. Oh,
New South Wales.
where are you from?
Sydney.
Oh, you're Australian.
Yes.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah. In fact, I lived.
I lived in Sydney
In fact, I lived not far from. I lived at Maroubra Beach.
Oh.
Mm.
Yeah.
Where were you living? Where were you living while you were in Sydney?
Well, near the universities.
Kensington or a place like that.
Yeah. I changed my places a couple of times. So
sure.
Yeah.
Well, actually, my apartment is actually in Kingsford.
Oh, really? Oh.
And I lived my
yeah, each other. I think
we may well have been neighbors. You know?
Well, when I was staying, it was just Olympic Games were
2000, around 2000.
So
right.
2000, just 2000.
Right.
At that time,
yes,
marathon runner, Japanese marathon runner won the championship. So
and the marathon went right past the university.
Yeah, right. So I saw, I watched her.
I must admit, I don't remember who won the marathon. I must admit, but obviously it was Japanese. You would remember, which is a good thing, you know. In fact, the lines that they drew on the road lasted for many, many years after that. At the year 2000, I was actually living in a suburb called Rozelle, which is near Balmain, which is just on inner city, but just on the other side of the city.
What's the name of again?
Rozelle, it was called.
Rozelle.
Yeah, R-O-Z-E. Rozelle, which is probably, you may have heard of a place called Balmain, which was quite an upmarket little area. You know, I was living next door to the upmarket area.
Well, you know, actually, I was already old when I studied there, but I enjoyed being mingled with the young people and studying together. So I enjoyed studying.
How long were you there?
1.5 years.
Okay, so you would have got to know Sydney quite well, actually.
Actually, I moved around in Sydney with my friends, and I also took a walk. There's a very famous beach, sand beach, or you don't call that, what was held.
Bondi
Beach, I think. Yeah,
that's probably the most famous beach.
Yeah. So
probably the most famous beach in Australia, actually, I would suggest. I don't know why. I mean, it's a nice beach, but I think there are nicer beaches. That's where the beach volleyball was held.
Oh, yes, I mean that. Yeah, right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, look, I mean, when I was very young, I grew up in Bondi, around Bondi area.
Oh, really?
And then my family actually moved over to Kingsford. And then I lived there. And when I had my family, we had a house in Rozelle, but then we moved back to Kingsford and rebuilt my old family home. I actually miss Sydney. I don't live in Sydney anymore. I now live in Penang in Malaysia.
Oh, you are now talking from Malaysia?
I am talking from Malaysia, which is just an hour behind your time. So Sydney is an hour ahead of Japan. Malaysia is an hour behind Japan. So we're pretty much in the same time zone, everyone.
So what brought you to Malaysia?
I got remarried,
Oh,
a second time to a Chinese Malaysian lady
oh,
with whom I'd had a lengthy relationship. And that's why I moved. When I took early retirement. I used to work in the food industry in sales and marketing positions. My last position, I was the general manager of a frozen seafood company. And I took early retirement and moved over here. I mean, it's my wife is a few years younger than me, so she's still working full time. So it seemed a better idea for me to move here, where my finances go a lot further, than for her to move to Australia, where her finances would have been a third of what they are now. So it was a sort of a financial decision and a practical decision. And from a traveling point of view, it takes, unless you're going to New Zealand, it takes off about 8 hours off your traveling time, no matter where you go. Because as you know, Australia is a long way from everywhere.
Speaking of Malaysia, I remember, visiting Malaysia when I came back to Japan. The capital is Kuala Lumpur, isn't it?
Yes, Kuala Lumpur.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Twin Towers are very famous.
Very famous. At one stage, the tallest buildings in the world.
Yeah. So I climbed that building.
Are you really? Because I've never been. I've been to Kuala Lumpur a number of times, but I've never actually been in the buildings themselves. What you mean, the staircase?
Yeah. Of course, we use elevators or something like. And also Malaysian people visit that building. Quite many people. So we have to wait. Yeah.
Apparently, one of the buildings was built by French builders. By the French, and the other building was built by the Swiss, and they kept on having a competition.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
I read this somewhere some time ago. I had no idea either. So it was always a competition who could build their tower first, or something.
So the shapes or some other things are a little bit different. I thought almost the same things.
Well, as far as I know, they're the same, but I don't know what the background is between one being given one building and another being given the other building or something. Perhaps it's an urban myth. I don't know. But, that was my understanding of it anyway. It's the Petronas Towers, they call it, which is one of the largest Malaysian petrol companies, oil companies. So there you go. So
the then president of Malaysia, he liked
prime minister, but not president. It's not a president.
Prime minister, not the president. The prime minister liked have their big things. That's why he built that.
That would have been Mahathir.
Yes.
The longest serving prime minister in history, and also the shortest serving one. Apparently. Yeah, apparently. Well, in my time, he's been here. He came back as prime minister and then was ousted. In a matter of months. So he ended up being one of the longest reigning prime ministers and one of the shortest reigning prime ministers. He's 92 and he still gets involved in. I keep thinking to myself, just give it up. Enough is enough, But let's not talk about politics in Malaysia. It's like there's a complete mess here from a political perspective, And listen, we're going to run out of time.
Oh, okay. Nice talking.
We barely started talking.
Yeah.
Listen, what I'll do is I'll send you a link to my schedule if you want to talk again.
Okay, thank you.
Let's continue the conversation.
Okay.
What this backdrop of yours? What is it? What is it? Is this a curtain behind you or just like a?
Well, the back is something, bad to look at. So I just,
yes. So it's what you would call just a backdrop. a design.
Japanese name, Furoshiki. We say
Yeah.
Furoshiki.
Okay. So no, it's a good idea. It looks nice. Makes you look royal.
Okay, all right. Thank you. All right,
All the
bye-bye.
best. Lovely to meet you.